Women may try to hide their feelings, but human nature can betray them. No matter how hard she tries to act indifferent, her subconscious behaviors will always reveal the truth. Whether it's through minor criticisms, distant behavior, or mixed signals, attraction has a way of slipping through the cracks. Why does this matter? Recognizing these hidden cues can give you a massive advantage in understanding how a woman feels about you. Women often suppress their emotions, not because they don't care, but because they fear rejection, embarrassment, or losing control. The irony? The more they try to mask their feelings, the more noticeable they become to those who know what to look for. This video will uncover 7 key signs that a woman is secretly into you, even if she won't admit it. From subtle criticisms to how her friends act around you, every sign has a more profound psychological basis. And if you stay until the end, I'll share a bonus body language cue that can instantly reveal hidden attraction. Understanding these signals will help you read women better and save time by focusing on those who genuinely reciprocate your interest. So, let's dive in and decode the unspoken language of attraction. Sign 1. She criticizes you for small things. Men often assume that when a woman criticizes them, it means she's completely uninterested, or worse, that she finds them repulsive. But this interpretation misses a deeper psychological reality. When someone is genuinely indifferent, they don't waste energy thinking about you, much less talking about you. If a woman frequently critiques small things about you, your choice of clothing, the way you laugh, how you pronounce certain words, it's not necessarily a sign of rejection. More often than not, it indicates that she's paying attention, even if she's disguising that attention behind annoyance. This kind of behavior is particularly revealing in social settings. If she critiques you in front of her friends, it may not be about you, but maintaining a specific image. Many women feel pressure to mask their true feelings, especially if they are unsure. Suppose one of her friends casually brings up your name, and she immediately reacts with a dramatic sigh, rolling her eyes and saying, "Ah, he's so annoying." This might seem like a clear sign that she dislikes you, but it suggests quite the opposite. If she genuinely had no feelings, negative or positive, why would she feel the need to react so strongly? Think about it. Have you ever found yourself talking about someone you genuinely didn't care about? Most likely the answer is no. Genuine indifference is silent. It's disinterest. It's forgetting that person even exists. When someone constantly brings you up, even to complain, it means they've been thinking about you. The criticism may be a subconscious attempt to gain control over their emotions, to downplay their feelings in front of others, or to test how much attention they'll give in response. Understanding this dynamic is crucial. Many men make the mistake of becoming defensive when faced with a woman's nitpicking. They either try to explain themselves, hoping to fix the problem, or they react emotionally, becoming irritated or withdrawn. Neither of these responses helps. Instead, the best approach is to remain unshaken. Confidence in the face of criticism sends a powerful message. You're secure in yourself, and her words do not dictate your self-worth. Rather than engaging in back-and-forth explanations or apologies, recognize her behavior for what it is, a form of engagement, not actual dismissal. She wouldn't criticize your clothing, speech, or habits if she didn't care enough to notice them in the first place. Stay true to yourself instead of rushing to change something about yourself to win her approval. The best response is quiet self-assurance. Over time, she'll realize that her attempts to push you away only highlight how much space you occupy in her mind. And when a woman thinks about a man often, attraction isn't far behind. The key takeaway is simple. If she regularly brings you up, even negatively, you're on her mind. Indifference is the absence of reaction, not the presence of critique. The more secure you are in yourself, the more likely she will start seeing you as someone worth her genuine attention, rather than just someone to test. Sign 2. Overcompensation. Men often take a woman's words at face value, assuming that if she repeatedly insists, "We're just friends," or "I don't see him that way," she must genuinely mean it. But human psychology is rarely that simple. When a woman exaggerates her disinterest, she may not speak from a place of certainty. She may be trying to suppress feelings she isn't ready to acknowledge. The mind seeks internal consistency, and when emotions don't align with logic, people construct narratives to resolve the conflict. This is cognitive dissonance, the psychological discomfort that arises when actions, feelings, and beliefs contradict one another. If a woman feels drawn to a man but believes she shouldn't be, perhaps due to social pressure, fear of vulnerability, or past experiences, she will often work overtime to convince herself and others that there's nothing there. She might say it once and let it go, or repeat it repeatedly as if reaffirming the idea will make it accurate. The more she feels compelled to restate her position, the more likely she's fighting something internally. This kind of overcompensation can appear in subtle ways. She might act cold or distant, avoiding prolonged eye contact, or steering conversations away from personal topics. She might dismiss compliments or reject harmless physical closeness, like playful touches or standing too close. But paradoxically, these exaggerated behaviors often indicate that she's struggling to suppress the attraction she claims not to feel. Genuine indifference doesn't require reinforcement. It simply exists. Imagine this scenario. A group of friends is hanging out and someone casually teases her about spending a lot of time with a confident guy. Instead of brushing it off or laughing, she quickly says, "No way, we're just friends. I don't think of him like that at all." If this response seems a little too forceful, it likely is. If she genuinely had no feelings, she wouldn't feel the need to make a statement. She would either remain neutral or respond lightheartedly. The intensity of her denial is what gives her away. For men in this situation, the key is to observe rather than react. The mistake many men make is believing that if they just push a little more complicated, if they argue their case, provide proof of compatibility, or reassure her that she doesn't need to be afraid, she'll eventually come around. But attraction doesn't work through logical persuasion. If a woman resists her feelings, it's not because she hasn't thought things through. She's struggling to make sense of emotions that don't fit her current mindset. The best approach isn't to chase or seek clarification. Instead, a man should remain composed, secure, and unbothered by her verbal insistence. If the attraction is accurate, it will surface in its own time, often when she no longer feels the need to deny it so vehemently. The strongest position is not proving but allowing her to come to terms with her feelings independently, without pressure or interference. The more she talks about how little she thinks of you, the more space you occupy in her mind. And when someone is genuinely indifferent, they don't need to remind themselves. Sign 3. Acting overly distant. Many men interpret a woman's sudden distance as a clear sign of disinterest, assuming she has lost all attraction. But human emotions are rarely that straightforward. When a woman acts distant, avoiding direct conversation, cutting interactions short, ignoring messages, or responding with one-word replies, it often means something much deeper is at play. Women, just like men, experience emotional turmoil. However, instead of confronting those emotions head-on, they sometimes withdraw to maintain control. A woman's retreat into silence or avoidance isn't always a rejection. Sometimes it's self-preservation. When feelings become overwhelming, she may instinctively create distance to regain control. Unlike men, who often straightforwardly handle attraction, women can struggle with conflicting emotions, especially if the attraction feels inconvenient, unexpected, or too intense. If she was once warm, engaging, and playful, but suddenly starts acting cold, this shift could be an unconscious defense mechanism, rather than a deliberate attempt to push you away permanently. One of the most significant indicators that her distance isn't genuine disinterest is inconsistency in her behavior. If she ignores only you but usually interacts with others, that's a clear red flag that her avoidance is intentional. If she were genuinely uninterested, she wouldn't need to go out of her way to create distance. She would simply feel neutral. When she appears engaged with everyone else but withdraws expressly from you, it's a sign that her emotions are tangled in a way she's not yet ready to confront. Men often react to this distance in ways that only push her further away. Some overcompensate by trying harder, sending more messages, demanding explanations, or attempting to regain her attention through excessive gestures. Others take the opposite approach, cutting her off entirely as a form of emotional self-defense. These reactions stem from the same underlying mistake, assuming her behavior concerns them rather than her internal conflict. The best way to handle a woman's sudden emotional retreat is with quiet confidence. If she's withdrawing because her feelings are overwhelming, giving her space allows her to process those emotions on her terms. Pressuring her for an answer or trying to force a response will only reinforce her need to escape. Instead, maintain your emotional stability. Keep moving forward with your life, focusing on your own goals, passions, and well-being. This approach not only preserves your self-respect, but also subtly signals that you are secure in yourself, something that is inherently attractive. Eventually, she would return if her distance were fueled by hidden attraction rather than genuine disinterest. And when she does, she'll be drawn to the fact that you didn't crumble in her absence. A high-value man understands that emotional stability is key. He does not chase, he does not demand explanations, and he does not react impulsively to every shift in a woman's behavior. He recognizes that sometimes, when a woman pulls away, it's not a sign that he needs to change, it's a sign that she needs time to process her feelings. Sign 4, she tries to make you jealous. Men often misunderstand a woman's attempts to trigger jealousy. When she talks about another man or flirts in your presence, the instinctive reaction is frustration, confusion, or retreat. Many assume she's genuinely interested in someone else, or that she's signaling her lack of attraction. But this overlooks a fundamental truth. If she didn't care about how you reacted, she wouldn't go out of her way to ensure you noticed. Jealousy is deeply wired into human psychology. Studies have shown that when a person experiences jealousy, the brain regions associated with pain, longing, and reward processing light up. It's an emotional reaction that creates urgency, forcing the mind to focus intensely on what might be lost. Women understand this dynamic intuitively, even if they're not consciously aware of why they do it. When a woman brings up another man's name frequently, or ensures you notice her interactions with someone else, she's not just making conversation. She's running a test, observing how you handle it. Her subtle awareness of your response is the telltale sign that she's doing this intentionally. She won't just mention another guy and move on. She'll pause, glance in your direction, or monitor your facial expression. If she's flirting with someone else in a social setting, she may exaggerate her reactions just enough to ensure you see it. It's not about the other man. It's about you. She's gathering information, evaluating how much you care, whether you'll react emotionally, and your self-confidence level. This is where most men make a crucial mistake. They either react with visible frustration, showing insecurity, or attempt to compete by proving they're just as desirable, trying to win back attention through validation-seeking behavior. Neither response benefits them. When you act as if another man's presence threatens you, you lower your value in her eyes. Women aren't drawn to men who react impulsively to their emotional tests. They're drawn to men who remain composed, unfazed, and secure in their worth. The most powerful response is indifference, not forced or performative indifference, but genuine confidence that her actions don't dictate your emotional state. If she mentions another man, acknowledge it briefly and shift the conversation elsewhere. If she flirts before you, carry on as if it doesn't affect you. This doesn't mean ignoring her entirely. It means demonstrating through your actions that you are not dependent on her validation. Over time, she'll recognize that her attempts to gauge your reaction have failed. Paradoxically, this will make her more invested. Women are drawn to mystery, to the challenge of understanding a man who doesn't respond predictably. If she was testing your emotional resilience, passing that test makes you more attractive in her eyes. If she was trying to push you away, realizing that you won't chase often forces her to reevaluate her feelings. Either way, maintaining composure puts you in control of the situation. The key takeaway is this. If she genuinely had no feelings, she wouldn't care whether you noticed her interactions with other men. The fact that she's trying to elicit a response means you're on her mind. How you handle it determines whether that attraction grows or fades entirely. Sign 5. Her friends give it away. A subtle truth often gets overlooked. When a woman likes a man, it's not just her who knows. Her friends notice long before she's ready to admit it herself. Women hide their feelings more than men, especially when unsure or afraid of rejection. But her friends, they have the clear perspective that she lacks. They see the signs, the tiny shifts in her behavior, her mood changes when you're mentioned, and the little details she tries to suppress. One of the most telling signs that a woman is interested is how her friends act when you're around. If her friends start teasing her when your name comes up in conversation, it's a solid indication that there's more going on than meets the eye. A woman's closest friends will pick up on the slightest clues, the way her face lights up when she talks about you, the way she nervously adjusts her appearance if she knows you're about to arrive. If her friends are the first to bring you up in casual conversation, there's a good chance they already know she's interested in you, even if she's trying to keep it under wraps. It's also revealing when those friends try to make playful connections with you. They might jokingly mention how much time you two have spent together recently, or point out the similarities in your personalities. These aren't just random observations, they're clues. When her friends drop hints like, "She talks about you a lot," or "I've never seen her like this before," they acknowledge something she might still try to deny. You might even notice subtle behaviors when you approach her and her friends. A smile or a knowing glance exchanged between them is a giveaway. They know the underlying chemistry, even if she's not ready to acknowledge it. Women are often careful with their emotions, particularly when they don't see how the other person feels, so they'll look to their friends for validation or reassurance. If her friends start reacting to your presence with smiles, whispered conversations, or playful teasing, it's a sign that she's likely developed feelings for you, even if she hasn't openly expressed them. Women often rely on their social circles to process their emotions, so when those friends show signs of acknowledging your connection, it's more than just friendly chatter. It's a subtle confirmation that her feelings for you are there, just waiting to be recognized. In these moments, it's essential to remain confident and composed. Let her friends' reactions remind them that your presence has impacted them, even if she hasn't yet come to terms with it. Don't rush her into making a move or declaring her feelings. Instead, enjoy the knowledge that you've sparked interest and wait for her to be ready to acknowledge what her friends already know. Sign 6. Mixed signals. Hot and cold behavior. If you've ever been in a situation where one moment she's warm, talkative, and seemingly interested, only for her to pull away and become distant the next, you know how confusing and frustrating it can be. One day she flirts with you, the next you wonder if she's even noticed you. These mixed signals aren't random. They're often signs of an internal struggle that she may not fully understand herself. The root of this behavior lies in the conflict between attraction and fear of rejection. On the one hand, her emotions draw her closer to you. There's genuine interest, attraction, and maybe even a sense of excitement when you connect. But on the other hand, her logical mind warns her to pull back. She may fear being vulnerable, getting too close, and the potential for emotional hurt. This dynamic is at the core of what Freud described as the tension between the conscious and unconscious mind. Let's look at a concrete example. She might text you enthusiastically, sending long messages full of excitement, only to go silent for days. This sudden shift from warmth to coldness signals something more profound than simple disinterest. It points to inner turmoil. She may want to connect with you in her mind, but her fear of being hurt or rejected causes her to retreat. It's essential to recognize that this back and forth is not a reflection of your worth or desirability. It's a reflection of her conflicting emotions. When a woman oscillates between warmth and coldness, she's likely dealing with feelings she struggles to manage. Her fear of getting hurt could make her hesitant to invest fully, even if she wants to. So, how should you interpret these mixed signals? Rather than seeing this as a sign that you're doing something wrong or that she's uninterested, understand that it's more likely a sign that she's trying to suppress feelings that are difficult for her to deal with. In such situations, patience and understanding are crucial. Give her the space she needs, rather than chasing her when she pulls away. Don't push too hard when she comes back around. Let the connection develop naturally. The key takeaway is that these mixed signals aren't about you, they're about her trying to navigate her emotional landscape. You can avoid overreacting to her hot and cold behavior by staying calm, grounded, and patient. Recognizing this pattern gives you insight into her inner world, and the more you understand this, the better equipped you are to navigate the complexities of attraction and connection. Sign 7. She takes interest in your personal life. One of the most telling signs that a woman is genuinely interested in you is when she takes the time to remember the small details about your life. This might seem insignificant at first glance, but it indicates that she is not just casually passing through your world, she's actively engaged in it. Whether it's asking about your family, hobbies, or past experiences, the questions she asks and the conversations she remembers demonstrate a level of attention that speaks volumes. If weeks or even months after a casual mention she brings up something you've shared, like your favorite food or a memorable event from your childhood, it's not by chance. This is selective retention at work, a psychological phenomenon where the brain prioritizes emotionally significant memories. In simple terms, when something matters to us, we remember it, and when a woman recalls these small details, it shows that your words have made an emotional impact, enough for her to hold on to them. This type of attentiveness is not something to be overlooked. It's often a sign that she is investing emotionally in the relationship, trying to understand you better and establishing a deeper connection. It also signals that she sees you as more than just someone to pass the time with. She's mentally and emotionally engaged, paying attention to what makes you unique and memorable. For instance, imagine you're talking to her casually one day and mentioning that you're not a fan of coffee but you enjoy tea. Weeks later, she remembered and asked, "Hey, how's that tea you like so much? Still not a fan of coffee?" This simple action may seem small, but it shows that she has been thinking about you beyond the surface level. It also demonstrates that she values your preferences and wants to make an effort to cater to your interests. This behavior, while subtle, also carries with it a deeper meaning. When someone listens and remembers, it indicates that they value what you say and that your experiences matter to them. She's interested in the superficial aspects of your life and in understanding what makes you who you are. The key takeaway here is that attention to detail is a powerful signal. It's not about grand gestures or constant displays of affection. It's the small, thoughtful moments that reveal genuine interest. A woman who remembers your favorite food, the book you mentioned months ago, or the way you like your coffee, is a woman who is actively thinking about you, who cares about the things that make you unique, and who wants to connect on a deeper level. If she's holding on to these small pieces of information, you're on her mind, and that's a powerful sign of attraction. Sign 8. Body language cues. Regarding attraction, women often express their feelings in ways that go beyond words. While verbal cues are important, body language usually provides the most precise indicators of how a woman feels about you. Understanding these subtle signs can give you a deeper insight into her emotions and help you navigate the complexities of attraction. One of the most potent indicators of interest is prolonged eye contact. If a woman is drawn to you, her eyes naturally gravitate toward you, often locking in an unspoken connection. This eye contact isn't fleeting. It lasts longer than usual and happens even when she isn't actively talking to you. If you catch her gaze and she doesn't quickly look away, it's a clear sign that she's engaged. However, if you catch her staring and she quickly looks away, don't mistake it for disinterest. This moment of shifting her gaze is a subconscious signal of attraction. According to Dr. Paul Ekman's studies on microexpressions, such quick shifts in eye contact are often a response to being caught in the act of attraction. She may feel embarrassed or self-conscious, but rest assured this fleeting glance is a strong subconscious indicator that she is interested. Her body position also tells you a lot about how she feels. When a woman is attracted to someone, her body will naturally orient toward them. This isn't a conscious choice, it's a biological instinct. If she's standing or sitting with her shoulders and hips directed toward you, it's a physical manifestation of her focus. Her posture may seem more open, and she might lean in slightly as you speak, signaling that she's fully engaged and wants to connect. Another common sign of attraction is the way she interacts with her hair. This could involve casually tossing her hair, running her fingers through it, or twirling it playfully. These actions are often subconscious gestures that signal nervous excitement or interest. While these signs can also indicate flirtation, they generally serve as a way for her to feel more confident and draw attention to herself when she's around someone she's attracted to. Even small fidgeting or subtle movements can reveal hidden feelings. If a woman starts tapping her foot, adjusting her clothing, or fiddling with a piece of jewelry, these movements often indicate nervous energy, which can signify attraction. These gestures are usually tied to the discomfort of being around someone she likes, and they can tell you that she's trying to make herself appear more poised, even if she's feeling anxious on the inside. While these physical signs are powerful, it's important to remember that body language can vary from person to person. Not all women will display these behaviors similarly, but they serve as important cues that can help you gauge her level of interest. When you notice multiple signs appearing in combination, eye contact, body orientation, hair play, and fidgeting, it indicates that she's attracted to you and wants to be closer. Learning to read these cues requires attention and patience. By observing her body language, you can better understand her feelings and respond in a way that builds rapport and connection. The more attuned you become to these signals, the more you'll be able to create meaningful and engaging interactions that lead to more profound attraction. Final advice: what to do next? When understanding a woman's feelings, paying attention to her signals is crucial. If you've noticed multiple behaviors that indicate she's investing emotional energy into your interactions, whether through frequent communication, subtle touches, or how she keeps bringing you up in conversation, she's likely harboring some interest. A genuinely uninterested woman won't engage in such behavior. Silence and disconnection are far more telling. However, don't waste time second-guessing or playing games. If the signs are ambiguous, or she seems to be pushing you away despite the attention she's giving you, it's essential to assess where things stand honestly. Playing the waiting game, hoping that things will change, often leads to frustration. If her actions leave you questioning her level of interest, and you're putting in more effort than she is, it might be time to step back. Time is valuable, and investing it in someone who isn't reciprocating can delay your potential for genuine connection elsewhere. Ultimately, the best action is to focus on balanced and fulfilling relationships. Seek women who show consistent, mutual interest and respect. Recognize that the key to a healthy and engaging relationship is reciprocity. You want someone who meets you halfway, not just someone who plays hard to get or keeps you on tenterhooks. Genuine connection is born from openness, trust, and shared emotional investment. Don't waste your energy trying to figure out someone not ready to offer you the same in return. In summary, the best thing you can do next is observe the signs, and then decide to honor your time and emotional well-being. If she's interested, her actions will align with her words. If not, don't be afraid to move forward. The proper connection will feel effortless, and your energy will be better spent on relationships that grow naturally and reward your efforts. Women often hide their true feelings, but their subconscious behaviors tell a different story. While they may suppress their emotions to avoid embarrassment or rejection, their actions, whether criticism, exaggerated disinterest, emotional distance, or attempts to provoke jealousy, reveal more than they intend. A woman who constantly brings you up, even negatively, is thinking about you. One who insists you're just friends may be convincing herself more than anyone else. If she suddenly pulls away or ghosts you, it's often a defense mechanism, not a lack of interest. When she talks about other men in front of you, she may be testing your reaction, just as her friends' teasing or subtle hints can give away what she's trying to hide. Mixed signals, oscillating between warmth and coldness, reflect an internal conflict between attraction and fear of vulnerability. Her curiosity about your personal life, remembering small details, or asking about your interests are other giveaways. Even her body language, prolonged eye contact, mirroring your gestures, or nervous fidgeting can betray hidden attraction. These signs provide deeper insight into a woman's genuine emotions when observed collectively. The key is to recognize patterns rather than fixate on isolated actions. If she's genuinely uninterested, move on and invest your time where it's valued. But if multiple signals align, she may struggle with emotions she's not yet ready to admit. Understanding these dynamics helps navigate relationships with greater clarity and confidence. Have you ever noticed these behaviors in someone before? Share your experiences in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into human nature, relationships, and attraction.